on you guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing fine. And for this video, I've had the XT for about 8 months now, and I decided to make a video about a few things that I like about the car. And before I do begin, I just want to say that items on this list is very subjective, so a lot of this is going to be based on my own opinions, so take of it as you will. And to begin this list, number 1 is going to be the Forester's paint. Now for those that don't know, the paint is called Venetian Pearl Red. That paint color I believe is still being used throughout Subaru's lineup. And to summarize the color, it's just a deep red with pearls that makes it look more metallic. In the beginning, when I first got the car, I really wanted a white or gray Forester instead, but this is the only option that was available. And when I did get it, I was still debating on wrapping it or changing it to a different color. But over the few months, I've grown to really love this color just because of how masculine and aggressive the color is. And I think the color worked really well for me, mainly because I take the car off-roading or soft-roading a lot. There's a lot of dirt. So for this specific color, it doesn't show dirt as much. And if it does, I think the color of mud actually complements the red quite a bit. Now if you look closely, and I mentioned earlier, just the pearls in the paint, it makes the car just look so gorgeous. These metal or pearl flakes in the paint, it has a golden kind of color to it, and it just looks so good. Looks so good. Unfortunately, the video or the pictures that I'm showing you guys doesn't do it justice, but trust me guys, if you ever get the chance to see this color in person, it's probably one of the best colors that Subaru makes. Definitely just a gorgeous color. Now number 2 on this list is going to be that the Forester is just so amazing to drive. It's super comfortable, you barely have any blind spots, and it's just so nice to drive this car, especially when you're coming from a smaller car like an 86. I commuted the 86 all throughout college, and now that I'm moving on to something bigger, it's definitely a big change for me. Now, not only is the car comfortable to drive, but the car is actually very versatile as well. As you can see, there is a lot of additional storage spaces inside the Forester that you wouldn't expect. As you can see from the video, I'm showing you guys all the extra cubbies that can be located inside the car. Not to mention the extra cup holders, that's definitely a plus as well. And to end this point, I'm just gonna say that everything about the Forester was engineered to be as practical as possible, and I just absolutely love that fact about the Forester. Now, third on this list is going to be, and you guys already probably guessed it, it's going to be Subaru's all-wheel drive system. It really just feels like the car can go anywhere. Now, if you haven't had the chance to see how superior Subaru's all-wheel drive system is compared to other vehicles, then you probably won't get this point, but from my experience, I witnessed it myself, and that includes a 2013 Mazda 3 with all-wheel drive and also a 2017 Toyota RAV4. And just to put it into perspective, my Subaru is 2007, so that's almost a 10-year gap between development of all-wheel drive systems, and it seems like my outdated Subaru is still able to keep up with the newer all-wheel drive systems, if not even better than those. Don't take my word for it, I recommend you guys going out and trying it for yourselves, but for me, I'm just glad I went with Subaru instead of other brands. Now moving on to number 4 on this list, and it's going to be the power on the XT. With that being said, I do want to say a quick disclaimer on the fact that I do have the turbo version of the XT, which adds about 50 extra horsepower and about 30 to 40 extra foot-pounds of torque. But this car really does fly. And for those that don't know, the car actually does 0 to 60 in about 5.5 seconds. And just in case you also didn't know, that's actually faster than my 86. So if you were planning on getting a Forester, I would recommend you getting a Forester XT instead, just because of the extra horsepower and torque. I would say that with the turbo models, there does come maintenance issues that you have to be aware about. But before you choose sides, make sure you watch this video I made earlier. It provides a bit of information about maintenance issues that you should be worried about if you plan on getting a Forester, whether it's naturally aspirated or if it's turbo. With the XT model, it's definitely a sleeper car because the car really doesn't look fast. It looks like a wagon or SUV. And when you do gas it, the turbo lag isn't too bad, and it really does go fast. So I definitely love that about my Forester XT. Moving on to number 5 of this list, and it's going to be the fact that this car is relatively cheap to maintain. Now, if you've seen the video that I made earlier, I created a list of maintenance issues that you should be looking out for. Yes, the list is relatively long, and there is a lot of things that you should be looking out for, but the good thing about this car is that a lot of these maintenance things aren't really expensive, especially if you know how to do it yourselves. The only problem with this car, I would say, that would be a bit more expensive is the head gasket issues. But as I mentioned in the video, head gasket issues don't really occur in the turbo models. It usually occurs in the naturally aspirated models because they use a different head gasket that deteriorates over time. Just make sure you do your research. But to sum up my point, maintenance on this car is relatively cheap, especially if you know how to do it yourselves, whether that's valve cover gaskets, secondary air pump deletes, check engine light deletes. It's just a lot easier than a lot of other cars, and I definitely love that about the Forester XT. And moving on to number 6 of this list, and it's going to be the fact that I just absolutely love how much cargo space this car has. As I mentioned earlier before, as a kid who commuted the 86 for several years of their lives, moving on to this car, it's just so much space that I definitely don't take it for granted. Also, I do a lot of off-roading and camping with this car, so it definitely comes in handy. It allows me to just carry everything I need. And I really just love all the extra cargo space because it's just so practical for my lifestyle. And for those folks that don't know, just like with any other SUV, the Forester back seats actually fold down. That way it does double your cargo space in case I do need to carry something bigger, which I absolutely love. That means I don't need to go get a truck or a trailer for this. I can function with most of my lifestyle activities with just the Forester. And that I just absolutely love that. Hopefully you guys do too about the Forester. Last on this list of items that I love about the Forester, and I would say it's not really an item, it's not really a perk of owning the Forester. And it's a simple fact that the Subaru community is very supportive of each other, which I really did not expect. And with the other cars in my lineup, I've noticed that the car community there is very toxic and they just don't really support each other. But for the Forester, it's very nice. It's really nice seeing you guys' comments down below. Even in the forums, people are always nice, giving advice, giving details about whether they want to go off-roading or they want to take their car camping, to their trails. It really is amazing to see this small community come together and support each other. And to add on to that, what I've noticed is that a lot of people in the Forester community often have the same lifestyle. That includes active, healthy lifestyles, going camping, going off-road, going to the mountains. It seems like that's a trait around the community, and that's just something I really do love because it's always easy to connect with each other. Alright, so that pretty much does conclude my video on the things I love about the Subaru Forester XT. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below if you guys agree with what I said or if you guys have any disagreements about that. So I'll be making a follow-up video on this about the things I do hate about Forester XT. Nothing's perfect, so I do have that video coming in for you guys as soon as possible. But with that being said, if you guys found this video helpful or if you guys liked it, be sure to like and comment down below. And before I forget, if you guys want to see what happens next to the XT, the 86, the 9060Z, or the 5.0, be sure to subscribe. And as always, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.